Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing fine today. I'm going to talk about this Psyop, Qantas flight Q14 from Buenos Aires to Darwin in Australia. I call this flight a Psyop. Well, let's look at the definition of the word Psyop first. Psyop's definition: planned psychological activities using methods of communications and other means directed to approved audiences in order to influence perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors. Now, why do I call this a Psyop? Well, we have been under the biggest Psyop in history that has ever been orchestrated in our whole lives. We have been programmed into believing that the Earth is a spinning ball in space. The flight itself is not the Psyop. The Psyop is displaying images of a ball Earth associated with this flight and claiming this is how this flight took place. So let's take a close look at this flight, but first, let's take some things under consideration. I'll start by asking two questions. 1. Is there anything that exists today that can't be faked? 2. Can a relatively small group of people manipulate the minds of billions of people? This is Tristan Harris. He gave a talk some time ago, and you can actually watch his talk on YouTube. For copyright reasons, I will only play 30 seconds of his talk, and I will also alter his voice. Please pay attention.
I want you to imagine walking into a room, control room with a bunch of people, 100 people hunched over at desks with little dials, and that control room will shape the thoughts and feelings of 1 billion people. This might sound like science fiction, but this actually exists right now, today. I know because I used to be in one of those control rooms. I was a design ethicist at Google, where I studied how do you ethically steer people's thoughts. Because what we don't talk about is a handful of people working at a handful of technology companies, through their choices, will steer what 1 billion people are thinking today. When we talk about technology, we tend to talk about it as this blue sky opportunity. It could go any direction. And I want to get serious for a moment and tell you why it's going in a very specific direction. Because it's not evolving randomly. There's a hidden goal driving the direction of all of the technology we make.
We just learned that a relatively small group of people can and will influence the minds of billions of people. We also learned that Psyops use methods of communications and other means to steer people into one direction. Let's look at the other means part of this definition and see some ways people can be deceived in a mass scale. We can be led to believe that a politician is live on TV when in fact it's a CGI image which glitches, revealing the truth. We can be led to believe that the president is at the White House, while the whole thing is just a prop and can be set up anywhere in the world. We can be led to believe that the person sitting next to us is one person when in fact he's wearing a near-to-perfection mask and go undetected. Even the person we call the president can be one of those actors just wearing a silicone mask. We can be led to believe men really walked on the moon and brought rocks back to Earth. We can be led to believe every astronaut who died in the Challenger incident had twin siblings, or not. We can be led to believe that priests are on our side, when in fact they are on the opposite side. Even the person you're married to may not be who you think he or she is.
When somebody hands me this idea, first I would do is look at it, of course, check the date on the time, when they were born, and then I would scan it in the system. Scan the ID barcode, and then wait a couple of seconds, and then it would determine Hannah's letter is 21 years of age. So this book determines what we look for if the ID is, if we're not sure of an ID. These are West Virginia, so here's a West Virginia ID, and it looks exactly like this one. And it also matches every description. It tells us if it's real or fake. Everything looks real. So this would definitely pass. There's nothing that we could do because we can't tell anybody, we can't tell the customer anything because it passes all tests. So how are we supposed to know if it's fake or real?
So is there anything existing today that can't be faked? Anything at all? Let's now focus on the second question. Remember what Tristan Harris said at the beginning, that a small group of people can and do manipulate the minds of billions. We are in a constant Psyop mode, having our minds manipulated by big companies and governments. Let's now focus on a small group of people behind what I call the Psyop Qantas flight Q14. Most of you have seen this webpage, Flight Radar 24. Here is their company website. It shows where it is located, in this case in Stockholm, in Sweden. It shows the number of employees they have, 50 people. But pay attention what it says in the description. Flight Radar 24 is an internet-based service that shows real-time aircraft flight information on a map. Now let's stop here and concentrate in one single letter, A. As you may have heard before, words have meanings, and letters do too. A is an indefinite article that simply means any map, not a particular one, not a specific one. In this case, the company chose, or was told to use, the Mercator projection. Even though there are over 50 different projections, including the AE map, but they had to pick the worst one.
When you think of the world, this is probably the map that comes to mind. It's everywhere. Atlases, school walls, even Google Maps. It's also very, very wrong, and it's been distorting our view of the world for centuries.
We were told at the beginning that a group of skilled people can and do influence billions of people. In this case, Flight Radar 24, by using the Mercator projection, influences billions of people into believing that the flight path of Q14 has to be exactly as it is displayed on its website. We have seen some fakery in the beginning of this video, but we haven't touched deeply on the things that can be faked using technology. Can they fake waypoints, positions? Can they fake GPS locations? Well, you would be surprised. Here we see aircraft carriers faking their positions. Airplanes have that capability as well. Here we see US spy planes faking their positions, as well as impersonating commercial planes to deceive the Chinese military in Asia. Here you see someone fake his GPS location. With a simple app, you can do that. Imagine what Google, NASA, the FAA, Qantas can do with their millionaire budgets.
According to my phone, I am in the middle of Times Square in New York City. This is not New York City. Here's how it works. All right, I'm going to be using a software called iMyFone. I haven't downloaded anything on my phone. This is only going on to my computer, and so I've connected my phone to my computer, and now that I've started this, it's going to fetch my GPS location. Now, I am here in Thailand. I'm going to show you my phone simultaneously so you can see what Google Maps says as well. It says that I am in Thailand, and so we've matched that up. But let's say I want to move over to Times Square in New York City. So I'm going into iMyFone, I'm choosing Times Square, and then I'm going to click Move. Now you notice immediately on my phone here on the right, it's going to redirect, it shows that I'm in New York City. And as far as any other app on my phone is concerned, that is where I am. And that's really interesting. One of the things on my phone can do is I can set waypoints, and then you see I'm changing my speed to, let's say, a brisk 8.5 kilometers an hour, and I can start to move. I can make it look like I'm actually walking down the streets of New York. And if you look to the right, it's very subtle, but I am moving down the streets of New York City as far as my iPhone's concerned. And of course, I'm still just sitting here.
Here you see the head of this astronaut going through the ceiling, which shows that either the astronaut himself is just a projection, or that the ceiling is not physically there, it's just another projection.
Well, somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Is Tom Hanks and other actors really singing All Star?
And her thumb in the shape of an L.
Changing photos and history used to be tedious and technical. In this photo, Stalin had a secret police official removed from photos when he fell out of favor. Hollywood has had the wherewithal for decades to produce computer-generated fakes, like in the movie Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks meeting with John F. Kennedy.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
If you can change visual images, you can change history. And there's something very powerful still about seeing something in terms of changing people's beliefs. Neural networks, machine learning, artificial intelligence technologies being adapted to synthesize for you fake content. It's that we've democratized access to incredibly powerful software. How are we going to believe anything anymore that we see?
I'm Tom Cruise and I'm running for President of the United States. This is no stunt.
Yes, it is. And that's not really Tom Cruise.
We're entering an era.
Former President Barack Obama calling the president names.
President Trump is a total and complete.
It's a fake, too.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
Pictures don't lie.
Oh, pictures always lie.
Oh, pictures always lie. Oh, pictures always lie. Oh, pictures always lie. Oh, pictures always lie.
People are going to be using these tools to commit crimes, to try to influence other people.
To try to influence other people.
Are you sure that what Flight Radar 24 is showing describes the exact path of this flight? Qantas released a 15 seconds video supposedly flying over Antarctica. 15 seconds? This girl running to the restroom with diarrhea took a longer video than the Qantas pilot did when he flew this very important flight over Antarctica. How about digital windows? Have you heard about them? They're real. Soon they will be showing new images of space, and you're gonna land the plane thinking and telling your friends that you've been to space. Because what you see, it's not real. It's just a digital image being displayed to you. And look at all these images that can also be faked, and Chinese people have been uploading to TikTok. So let's now look at Qantas Flight Q14, and you will be surprised at what you are going to see. Okay guys, it's time to now demonstrate to you how this flight, Qantas Flight Q14 from Buenos Aires to Darwin, just proved flat Earth. Let's take a quick look here on the wind currents. These are the jet streams around the face of the flat Earth, and you're gonna see that close to the edge, the tailwinds is much faster, goes up to 250 miles per hour. Perhaps even more than that, we don't have the information. Exactly, that's what they give us.
On the 7th of January, a British Airways Boeing 777 flew from New York to London in just 5 hours and 16 minutes, instead of the usual 7 hours, an exceptionally short flight time for a subsonic commercial aircraft. The aircraft's engines had not been pushed more than usual, but had simply taken advantage of an exceptionally strong tailwind. With a speed of around 400 kilometers, or 250 miles an hour. The aircraft thus attained a speed approaching 1,200 kilometers or 745 miles an hour, close to that of the sound barrier. There was no danger, however, concerning air friction on the fuselage, since the plane was flying with the wind, not against it.
I want you to pay attention to this. You can go to Flight Radar 24. Pay attention, the airplane leaves Buenos Aires at a normal speed, probably 500 miles per hour, and then all of a sudden it goes ballistic until it arrives in Australia. This aircraft gained speed once it got on the jet stream. Once it got on the tailwind, it went ballistic and flew faster than the regular speed until it arrived in Australia. It's right in their face. They can't hide that. This aircraft got on the jet stream and flew at speed up to, I'm gonna show you that this aircraft flew at an almost impossible, not impossible because airplanes do fly at a higher speed than we are told, especially when they get on the jet stream. Here's demonstrated on the flat earth map. They left Argentina and then got on the jet stream and just took off real fast and just went faster than the regular speed until it arrived in Darwin. And another biggest proof, and I want to thank Jeranism and the guys from Globebusters before pointing this out. The greatest proof is right here. This aircraft, it says it left Buenos Aires at 12:28. Now look, we know on the flat earth, we average the speed of the sun circulating over the flat earth at about 1,000 miles per hour, which equals to what the globe believers believe the earth spins on its axis at 12,000 miles per hour. So pay attention when this aircraft leaves Argentina. The sun, which is faster, the daytime is faster than the speed of the aircraft, should leave the airplane behind, but it does not. It shows that the aircraft is flying at the same speed of the sun. Pay attention, it's always in that edge. It never gets left behind. It follows the sunlight, right? So that shows this aircraft flew at a much higher speed than 500 miles ground speed they are telling us it did. Okay, we believe the speed of the sun is average 1,000 miles per hour. You guys, globe believers, believe the earth spins at about 1,000 miles per hour. So here is the aircraft going the same speed as the light of the sun, never being left behind. If this aircraft was flying at a speed of only 500 miles per hour ground speed, the light of the sun, it would leave this aircraft behind. Instead, it just flew along. Now look at here on the flat earth map. This is how it did. It flew along the light of the sun, the same speed. So it proves to us that this aircraft flew at a speed much higher than we are told. 1,000 miles per hour, that's the speed of the sun, or the speed of the rotation of the earth according to globe believers. And this aircraft flew along the light of the sun, just was never left behind. So that proves that flight Q14 shows that this flight flew along the jet streams and not on the spinning ball earth. It flew on the flat, non-rotating earth along with the jet streams. Thanks for watching, guys. Please share this video. You can upload it to your channels. This is all the information you need for now. The earth is flat, stationary, and this airplane flew along the jet streams on a flat, non-rotating earth. I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
I started taking these pictures out of my window, and this first picture I took, it didn't focus right, and I thought, well, wait a minute. This is the inside curve of the window in my 37,000-foot Spirit airline flight. And I thought, wait a second. If I just said, hey, look at this latest picture of Mars NASA just took, who wouldn't believe that? Almost everybody would say, oh, wow, look at that. Look at those. It looks like some kind of, they found water on Mars. Then you grab a picture of the International Space Station, throw it over it, tint it a little red. There you go. If I didn't tell you that that was New Mexico at 37,000 feet out the window of my Spirit airline flight, you'd buy that that is Mars. Of Apollo 11 doing the exact same thing to fake pictures of the Earth, fake the pictures that they did of the Earth. How can I believe any of the Apollo programs? Well, the simple answer is I can't. And I'm going to show you something else right here, live right here on the air. Okay, Apollo 17. This is NASA.gov, their website. It has all the different NASA missions. Click on this picture right here. Supposedly the same mission, same guys that took the picture of the most famous picture of our Earth. I'm going to do save image as, and let's see, Apollo Moon. Let's call it Apollo Moon 17. And I'm going to open that in Photoshop. This is live on the air, okay? I'm going to zoom in on the Earth in Photoshop. Okay, I'm going to go to Image, Adjust, Levels, and I'm going to bring the levels over here. And I'm going to bring the levels up. Uh-oh, what is that? Why is there a square box around the Earth allegedly taken from the scientists on the moon in Apollo 17? And people wonder why I don't trust NASA. That's why I don't trust NASA. I mean, they're always out there saying, you know, Rob, everybody's trying to show you stuff from space, and you keep rejecting it. This is why I reject it. These guys are liars.